Tension in Abia State as the governor is declared missing. Abia State Commissioner for Information, Mr. John Okiyi Kalu, trying to dismiss the genuine concern of Abians who are worried about Mr. Okezie Ikpeazu's whereabouts. Let us begin with what is not in doubt. Mr. Ikpeazu has not been seen in public in Abia or any part of Nigeria or the world in the last 5 weeks. If anyone has any argument to the contrary, please kindly present it. Prior to his disappearance, there was no formal handover note to the Deputy Governor, Mr. Udo Okochukwu, who is constitutionally empowered to take over in the absence of the governor. The framers of the Constitution knew that at certain times the governor would be indisposed through ill health, family matters, or other issues. In line with this, they made a provision for the deputy to take over in the governor's absence. Why did Mr. Ikpeazu ignore this provision of the Constitution when going away for 5 weeks? Mr. Ikpeazu runs Abia State like a personal kiosk located in front of his gate. None of his appointees knows anything about the state of affairs in the state. The Commissioner for Education is not different from a classroom teacher at Ibioku High School. Both would need to queue to see the governor. The governor does not rate any of his 2,000 plus advisors and PAs. All the guarantees them is regular payment of their monthly stipends. When the governor is not on seat, everything comes to a standstill. No memos are written, funds are not approved, salaries and pensions are not paid, and projects, if any, are abandoned. Mr. Okiyi Kalu knows all of this, and yet he elected to play the ostrich in his empty, unsubstantiated press release today. Most civil servants in Abia State have not been paid in 20 months. The pensioners are owed for 30 months, and the commissioner knows this. Why then would a governor whose people are dying over non-payment of salaries abandon the state at a time like this, if not crass irresponsibility? Mr. Okiyi Kalu insisted that his boss went to America and Australia to discuss scholarship opportunities with God knows who. Question is, why would a governor abandon his deputy post for 5 weeks, and travel more than 20,000 miles to undertake a task a commissioner can execute effectively? How else do you define irresponsibility? The world is currently grappling with the outbreak of the COVID-19. Every responsible leader is at his deputy post, assuring the public and coordinating with all relevant authorities and setting out palliative measures. The only person who would abandon his duty post at a time like this for a jamboree 20,000 miles away is the very incompetent Okezie Ikpeazu. Mr. Okiyi Kalu, in his unimpressive press statement shared gleefully by his media assistants, announced that Mr. Ikpeazu is coming back to personally lead the COVID-19 resistance initiative in the state. Isn't it ridiculous that Mr. Ikpeazu is returning to lead a fight that had long been lost? You imagine the governor, Andrew Cuomo of New York, announcing today that he will return to lead the fight against COVID-19. How would New Yorkers react to such a silly piece of information? I think Mr. Ikpeazu and his handlers have effectively convinced themselves that we are all dons and can be easily misled. I have news for you, sirs. We are not all foolish, although there are a few gullible people around. You are rather the ones who continue to dance naked in the public while deluding yourselves that the people are applauding while in actual sense they are making a jest of your public display of deep internal confusion. Abians and in fact everyone who follows politics in Nigeria are convinced that Mr. Ikpeazu is the very worst governor in Nigeria. A little a title he jointly holds with Kogi State Governor. The truth remains that as we speak, Mr. Okiye Kalu knows that his statement is false. The commissioner does not know the whereabouts of Mr. Okeze Ikpeazu. None of the political appointees in Umuahia knows where the governor is. We must rise and take responsibility. The people of Abia State has started asking questions about his whereabouts recently. If Mr. Ikpeazu is not missing, as I insist, let him address the press today, telling the world where he has been in 5 weeks. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, as you can see, there is a very high tension in Abia State. But then, there is a lot of questions that need to be asked. Where, where has the Abia State governor actually gone to? What what actually led to his sudden disappearance, and why did he disappear without leaving um, state responsibilities open to be attended to? You see, gone are the days that the leader of any organization will clothe himself with every responsibility, not minding or allowing the, uh, the people working for him to assist or do some of these things. Is uncalled for. He should try to understand that these are the reasons why he was given uh, PAs and special advisors to assist him in some of his official duties. So tell me, why did he have a deputy governor? Why was he given a deputy governor? What is the duty of a deputy governor? He just left the deputy governor uninformed, empty, without, as in, without no reasonable information of his whereabouts. Okay, now what about the duties of the state? It left the governor without giving him the power of autonomy to carry on with with the state affairs, leaving the state in a in a high jump, not allowing the state to carry out their special to experience the good things they're supposed to experience as a state. I don't really know what our leaders in Nigeria are actually taking us for. So wherever he is right now, I will say that he should try to at least, even if not giving a facial, if not appearing facially in person, he should at least appear in voice. Let them know that yes, he is alive and is somewhere, and let them know that yes, that he still have them in mind, and he should relieve and give the deputy and the PS and the advisors the authority to carry on with the state affairs, so that the people will not be left suffering. The people are crying. they really need to be attended to. So I would say that the state governor should do something about it. He should try to do something about it and free the people from this sudden tension. They are where they are going, and they should be well taken care of. Be it that he left on his own free will, or he suddenly disappeared, or he was kidnapped. That is not the issue. The most important thing is he should try to resurface. So don't forget to leave your comment behind.